The Raiders lost another winnable game against the now 7-0 Chiefs. Their loss to Mahomes and company has summed up their season as a whole. Let's talk about it. Join the madness.
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in L.A. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey is the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and then starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on the victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
What's good, Raider Nation? Welcome to Monday Night Madness. I'm Spicy Raider Girl here with my co-host Scotty Waddy, Raider One. Of course, we witnessed another disappointing loss from the Raiders. Nearly all of the Raiders' 6 losses have looked the same, and this 7 is no different. Woo, we're going to talk about it, but we want you to join the madness. I actually need to pin the link to the top of the page, and I'll do that in a minute. So, the Raiders had a successful start to the game, only to eventually make multiple costly mistakes that led to yet another loss. Scotty Waddy, you were just saying this was another winnable game that the Raiders kind of just let slip through their hands. It was a combination of poor coaching, poor execution, turnovers, penalties, and it's derailed the entire season. The penalties, yeah, they were pretty good at the beginning, and now kind of back to the old Raiders way. But with 9 games left in the season, the Raiders can win multiple games. And the next game against the Cincinnati Bengals is very winnable. But will they do it? Despite an abysmal record, many players inside the locker room take pride in how they will play individually and as a team. And I think that pride is going to get them a W next weekend, hopefully a much-needed one. What do you think, Scotty? What do you make of this?
2 back-to-back winnable games. Yesterday we had the chance to win. They wanted to give it to us. I think it was the same against the Rams also.
It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
We're failing to move the ball a yard or like an inch or something like that. We're beating ourselves a lot in these games. The narrative, the Raider Nation narrative is always, the refs this, the refs that. I've never really liked that because one play here, one call here doesn't really define a whole 60-minute game. But I don't think anybody can really complain about the refs. Now that roughing the passer call, come on, man, you barely touched the princess.
Am I thinking of the same one? Because listen, the rules are pretty soft these days, right? Like we wish the players could get hit. That one, that one did look like it wasn't one of those calls where the refs are giving it to him because Mahomes. I mean, that did look like a foul. I think if we're talking about the same one.
I disagree. I mean, he barely touched him, and what's his name? Cinderella.
I think it was the fact that it was well after the pass was thrown. I mean, maybe. I think the pass had even been caught by the time he hit him.
Yeah, but not. I mean, neither here nor there.
That wasn't the game deciding factor, right? That wasn't like that's why we lost the game.
No, not at all. Not at all. We couldn't get the ball in. I mean, there was several different things there. We couldn't move the ball a yard. Trayvon Merritt gets the pick. I was hoping so bad that he would just get the touchdown at that point. I remember thinking it as soon as he got it. I was like, please just get in there because we're not. Oh, we couldn't get in. And then on at the end of the half, or before the end of the half, we're just give the ball back to him. That's just runs a stupid play, then a run play behind that, and then we try to throw the ball. Golly, it's just I don't know if it's frustrating or anymore if it's comical. At the end of the day, we had several opportunities to
Well, I
score.
can tell you I'm not frustrated by it anymore, so
Yeah, it's just
it doesn't
it's
frustrate me. Yeah, it's like it is what it is, right?
But we had opportunities. Again, the defense played what they could play. I think our defense is getting tired out every game from staying out there the whole time, and I really can't ask them to do much more than what they're doing. I truly can't. What do you want from them at this point? But again, games that are winnable, and we're not executing. I cannot say that the Chiefs went in there and beat our ass. I cannot say that. I truly can't. Did they execute better than us? Yeah, they did. Did they
Doesn't
win the
matter.
game?
A W is
Not,
a W is and a loss is a loss. It doesn't matter
I
if
get it.
I don't think it matters if the Raiders got their ass kicked or they hung in there. Like we're giving out participation trophies now. Like
Well,
they hung in there.
I understand. I understand on that. What I'm saying, all I'm differentiating is, it's not as if we didn't have opportunities. We had opportunities to do something, and we didn't do it. So it's not like they came in and just completely dominated us. We beat ourselves for the most part. But that's 2 games in a row now, at least. But at
They
the end of
did
the day,
dominate in the stands, though. It looked like it was about 70% Chiefs fans and 30% Raiders fans at that game yesterday, which was a sad sight. Let me say what's up to some people in the chat here. Sunny Boyd, Boxing Gym. Thanks for tuning in. Sacktown Raider Mike, what's up, Raider Nation Raiders? April Ortiz, hey Spicy, hey Scotty, oh hey girl. Raider Travis in the building. Thanks for
what's up,
being a
Travis?
member. Good evening, Spicy, Mother Moon, Scotty, everyone. Like and share. Raiders, thank you. Rambo Adventures, Raider Nation, Thailand in the house.
Yeah,
We got the Fire AP. We got the Fire AP banter going on here. He's not happy.
Uh-oh.
Rambo Adventures, come on in, join the madness, and tell us why you think that. And let us know who you think should replace him. Sacktown Raider Mike, my buddy and lifelong Raider fan, is in the hospital ICU. Please read this to the nation. He needs prayers. All right, Raider Nation. Sacktown Raider Mike is asking for your prayers. So please include his friend in your prayers. We will wish him well, Raider Mike. Thank you for that. Mother Moon, Raiders. Oh, furthermore, he says his name is Les, aka Pinhead. All right, there we go. Thank you. Rambo Adventures. Raiders will get smoked in Cincy. Yeah, let's talk about that too, because that's a very winnable game. But so over the last 2, like Scotty said, AP is starting to lose the locker room after this loss and his inept coaching decisions. UMMM, we didn't want to give Kansas City too much time left. How about winning? Loser. Okay, we just putting that right out there. We know how this guy feels, right?
If I can address that, I don't. I'm not sure if AP's really losing the locker room. My thoughts on that is AP has made some coaching mistakes. There's no doubt about that. Nobody's going to argue that. Well, I won't argue that. However, what do you want him to do? You give him subpar in so many facets of the game. What do you want him to do? What are we firing him for? One coaching decision.
I'm kind of with that narrative, right? If you don't have people that can throw the ball, you don't have people that can catch the ball. I mean, it makes it harder to make coaching decisions. Yeah. And that even might alter his coaching decisions, knowing he can't rely on the talent he has to make certain plays. Yeah, I mean, you got to give this guy, you got to give a coach talent to work with.
Sure, absolutely. And I guess this isn't confirmed, but it's been my thought from the start that AP isn't calling the shots. I think Telesco and more so Tom Brady are calling the shots for the team. So what are we firing him for? Because his quarterback can't throw, because he throws in another quarterback that can't get it done and breaks his hand, and what are we firing him for? Because Minshew throws turnovers. Anyways, I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with it.
I respected the opinion also, but that certainly isn't going to solve anything. The Raiders aren't going to get better with the firing of AP, especially not now in the middle of the season. I agree with that.
Not at all. Not at all.
April says defense, intercept, and Benshu can't get 4 yards for us to score. Get the out of here.
Yeah, well. What else do you
Travis, Raider Travis says they didn't call it when Minshew got hit, but they called us hitting Kermit Mahomes, that is.
Yeah, I thought it was a weak call too. Come on. I mean, come on.
All right, Rambo Adventures. The best thing about this season, I don't wake up at 3 a.m. anymore to watch their ish play. It doesn't make me start drinking by 6 a.m. Hey, well, that's good. They're helping you not to drink at 6 a.m. So, hey, there you go. Hey, we got a Broncos fan in the building. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everyone's viewership and support. But, I want to find myself on a Broncos show. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I wouldn't be flexing that too much.
Raider Drox, AP is not going to get fired because he's black. If he does, cancel the Raiders, LOL.
All righty then.
All right.
That came out of left field. So. Okay.
Rambo Adventures, he has never devised an OFF or DEF game plan. He is a 1.5-year LB coach, total NFL experience. When you see mediocrity and expect it to become champagne, Ferraris and caviar, that is just a pipe dream. All right, well, we know he's not an AP fan. I'm curious, Rambo Adventures, did you want AP to be hired when there was the discussion to hire him or Harbaugh or whoever else in the mix? Were you team AP at the beginning, and did you turn on him, or were you always an anti-AP guy?
Fair enough.
By the way, we're going to go over some of the standouts, right? We kind of like to start the top of the show with some standouts of the game. Mine's a little different today, and I'm going to let you take over, Scotty, after I show one of my standouts of the game. One of Oakland's own, Mama Lynch, was in the building, and I represent Oakland. She was there. We got to chat it up with her. She's amazing. She's awesome. She's always so much fun. So shout out to Mama Lynch. Here's a little pic that she gave us.
Please. Love it. Nice.
We know her from, shout out to our good friend.
I think we got a little technical difficulty here, at least on my end, guys.
And we also had Mama Lynch on our show, an interview there where we did at the Bank Club in Emeryville. So shout out to Anna, shout out to the Bank Club, and shout out to Mama Lynch, and shout out to a true Oakland native. So that's my girl. That's my standout for the game.
I love it.
Scotty, who you got?
Standouts for the game. I think our safeties are doing great. Jacorian Bennett and Trayvon Merrick. I think they have been very consistent in the whole season. I saw an interview with DeAndre Hopkins, who also gave a shout out to Jacorian Bennett. He called him number 0, which is cool. That I don't think that was disrespect. I think people just don't know about him. But he gave him props for his excellent coverage. He also shouted out Jack Jones in that. But other standouts, when Spillane, I think everybody took a deep breath when Spillane was walked off the field there.
Oh yeah.
But he came back in the game. It looked like his ankle got crushed a little bit there. Hopefully, it's not anything that'll keep him out of playing coming up the next game. Let's see who else. Adam Butler again did a great job at his position. These rookie offensive linemen, and I'm talking about JPJ, DJ Glaze. I think they did okay. They didn't have anything really spectacular. JPJ needs to stop Alex Leatherwooding me to death. But yeah, hopefully he starts to learn learn the count a little bit better, and not getting those little uh, penalties. But nonetheless, he did all right. Let's see here. Divine Diablo, he didn't really stand out a lot, but he was in on a lot of stuff. Who else stood out? Am I missing somebody? Help me in the chat there. I think that's as far as standouts. I mean, Brock Bowers, Brock Bowers did great in the first 5 minutes of the game, and since it was working so well, we decided to not let that work anymore for some odd Raider reason.
Yeah, what was with that? Chat, let us know also. What happened there? What happened? You want to try to mix stuff up? You going too much? Did something happen? Like what? Why?
I don't know. I mean, he was doing fine, and we just decided, since it's working, let's just do something else. How about that? Yeah, let's do something else. Let's run it up the middle on first and second down every single series that we can do.
There was this nice exchange at the end of the game with Kelsey and Bowers. I don't know if you all saw it, and I know a lot of people, hate Kelsey in this chat just because in general, that's the nature of being a Raiders fan. But if you take that aside, I think that's such huge respect and a compliment. You've got a veteran, multi-Super Bowl champion tight end giving our rookie some props. I mean, I like to see stuff like that. So I think that that's something that should be celebrated personally and not
Hey,
criticized.
I mean, when a guy who is of that caliber comes up to you and recognizes you, and you're a rookie, I mean, come on, there's a reason for that. Props to Brock Bowers. Props to Kelsey for recognizing that and showing some love out there, and maybe had some encouraging words. I'm assuming, yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
game recognized game. Yeah. Remember, if you haven't already, light that torch, hit that like button. And remember, subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe. You can also join and become a member. And if you want to join the madness, you can do so by clicking on the StreamYard link that's in there. We want you to appear on camera with us. Let us know what you thought of this game. And if you're camera shy, there's the number you can call in, 510-394-4409 if you want to join the madness in that way. Raider Vision says, I'm going to be real. It is not a good look firing AP at the bye week. But let's be real. I agree. And I don't even think this is on there. Honestly, if this is some fan, chatter, I don't think the Raiders are even at a place to eat. They're not considering this. This was never supposed to be a tank year. We were sold a solid season by AP. You need to fire him. Hire Rabral. Okay. Well, hey, at least he's giving someone there. But I don't know what that is, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, let's talk about let's talk about what percentage is it on AP, what percentage is it on Getsy, what percentage is it on the quarterback play, what percentage is it on the rest of the player play, and there's enough blame to go around here, so why he's getting pinpointed with working with subpar subpar play and players. I don't get that, but again, I respect everybody's opinion. That's fine. Hey.
Yeah, I don't see how that. I don't see how that solves anything.
I don't. And then
they can't just go and hire this person, right? And then who's the interim coach? And then we're in a situation where we have another interim coach, and we have an interim coach year after year after year.
And then you think we're going to win games because the new coach comes in and doesn't call a timeout when he should, or should when he doesn't, or that didn't win that wasn't the game deciding moment. You're going to get another coach that comes in and says, "Hey, Minshew, don't throw 3 interceptions and fumble the ball." You're going to make them better with a different coach? No, that's not going to happen. And again, he has some of the blame to share, but I just don't think, it doesn't seem logical that he has the most of it when people aren't throwing the ball and people aren't catching the ball, and we're running the same goddamn run pass punt, run pass punt. It's like a damn, what do you call it? What are those children's like Tinkle Tinkle Little Star? It's like that, like a children's damn verse. Run, pass, punt. It's just piss poor and pathetic. You know.
Yep. April says, my question is, where do we go from here as far as the quarterback for the rest of the season? This part I'm not so sure about. Why are we not using Desmond Ritter? So JP gets a false start and they take Ritter out. I'm not sure what that means.
So I think she's saying they put in Desmond Ritter, and JPJ got a false start, and then they took him right back out. They put him in for one play, and for the life of me, I can't figure that out because they ran the play, and it was a handoff. They got a false start, so they stopped the play from happening, but it was a handoff. So I don't know why they put in Desmond Ritter. That's as a mystery to me as it is to everybody else. But as far as what are we going to do with the quarterback for the rest of the season, I think they didn't put in Desmond Ritter this game, to be honest with you, because he just got there and he might.
Yeah. And why would you?
He might have done worse than Minshew. Please, I use that term might very loosely.
Might? I mean, I think, almost guaranteed. This is a practice squad quarterback who's been on the team for just a number of days, who hasn't been around the team, has he learned all the plays? Does he know? When's the last time this guy ever saw a real game action?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, he might have done worse than Minshew.
Okay. I don't think he might have done worse. I think he would definitely do worse. But whatever. Listen, it's not like we're having lots of work with here.
There's some
Willie Wayne, what's good? Markey not firing AP mid-season. Exactly. I don't even think that's part of the discussion. Let's see. Rambo Adventures asked the question to what I asked about his AP feelings. Yes, wanted him hired because last year we were in every game, competitive with the chance to win them all. Now as head coach, he has lost and can't ride emotions for wins and outcoached. All right, so he's turned on him.
Okay.
I mean, arguably though, you think about it, the last 5 games of last season, we're working probably with a better team.
Sure we are.
So there's that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the talent has lessened since then.
Absolutely.
So it's hard, to your point, Scotty, what you said earlier when we were speaking to Rambo Adventures, this is not really an AP thing. I don't think he only can do as well as what he has to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and I didn't guarantee you, I don't know this man's thought process. I would think some of these coaching decisions that look a little sketch are probably coming because he can't really rely or trust or have the confidence in maybe coaching the way he wants to.
Well,
because of the talent that he has to work with.
Several weeks back, I said that he doesn't believe in this offense, and that's why he keeps turning the ball back over to the defense to try to get something done and reset the thing. But I totally agree with that. He's some of it. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't include some of the clock management and the timeout management issues, but some of the decisions I think are definitely because he doesn't believe in this offense.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't think he has his back there either.
So. Willie Rain says Ritter is learning the playbook. Could start versus the Bengals. So is this really a thing? Like I think we talked about this last show, Scotty. Is this guy really coming in and there's another quarterback duel here to see who the starter is? I mean, we're literally looking at this guy to start.
I don't.
And he's capable of doing it.
I don't think that AP wants Gardner Minshew. I don't think that he wanted Gardner Minshew from the start of the season. Again, I don't think AP's calling the shots, and maybe things have changed thus far.
Well, and if AP did not want Minshew at the start of the season, why did he choose to make him the starter at the beginning of the season when he chose to ride with AOC at the end of last season, benching Jimmy G, which I think who should have played out the season? since they paid him a ton of money and he was injured, but for a short stint. When he came back, he probably should have been the starter again. AP decided to bench him, keep AOC in, and then you get Minshew. Why wouldn't he just let AOC start then? He should have named him the starter. And you're saying, oh, he's not calling the shots. He's the head
Correct.
coach of the team. That's his job. So he
Well-
has to be calling the shots. I don't know where you think that someone else is, or how, or what evidence there is to that. But if that's the case, why would you take a job and you're not able to put the team you want on the field? That's literally his job.
Well, yeah, that's supposed to be his job. But again, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's calling the shots. I think Telesco, and I think it goes even further than that, up higher up the chain, who is calling the shots. That's exactly why I say
Who?
it. I think Telesco and people further up the chain.
Like who?
Tom Brady.
So you think Tom Brady wanted Minshew starting?
I think, well, I don't know if he wanted Minshew starting necessarily, but I don't think that.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's the topic.
Yeah,
in this asset.
I get it. But as far as AP calling the shots on this team, I don't think he is. I just can't buy into that, because how do you, exactly what you said, how is it that AOC got downgraded when he was winning games with him? And then all of a sudden you have Minshew in there, and I'm at the game and I'm looking at AOC warm up. I'm watching on TV and I'm looking at AOC with the helmet on, sitting ready on the sidelines. If you're not planning on coming in, why you got a helmet on? I think AP wanted AOC to be the guy, but I don't think he was calling that shot. I know that's what you're supposed to be doing.
I don't know if I can buy into that one, but teach their own.
Yeah, I mean,
Rambo Adventures. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a. What I was going to say is, how can we not buy into it if the new GM always brings in his coach, the new GM always brings in his quarterback, the new GM always brings in his guy? So how is that hard to buy into? Is all I'm saying. AP isn't Telesco's guy. AP was already there.
Yeah, I'm not following, but that's okay. Rambo Adventures say hiring and firing are not Mark's decisions anymore. He passed that mantle to TB12. Subpar play is because of subpar coaching. When JMD was fired, did the play improve dramatically? Yes, it did. We got all kinds of conspiracies going on today.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct. Oh, April, I did look that up. You're correct. He is, or I believe Herbal was, I believe, a coach of the Titans. We know what she's saying there. Raider Vision said, who brought in Getsy? Who went with Minshew and not Darnold? I'm telling you, AP is not a good coach. He is similar in Singletary, both 5 and 4 as an intern. Both didn't know how to coach superstars. Here's the thing. I mean, look at what happened over there in Detroit, right, with Dan Campbell. I mean, this could be very similar. We've got Dan Campbell. He went in for the Lions, didn't do much the first year. How many wins did he have?
I don't know.
2 maybe or something, I think it was. 2 wins, and now they've got a Super Bowl contending team. So, maybe AP turns into Dan Campbell.
We'll see.
Willie Wayne, I'm here with you. The team can't win with Minshew. He's just not good enough. He's a journeyman quarterback that needs to go. But we need a replacement, right? We can't just fire everybody. We need a replacement, and this is Scotty's favorite topic. He's already looking ahead to the draft. The Raiders stand at what right now? 7? 7? 7. Okay. Well, I think it's going to take more. It's going to take a higher pick, probably top 5, to really get something solidified here. What do you have anything to add to that, Scotty? Because I know you're really into this draft pick situation that the Raiders need to be in.
I am, and I have in previous years to this one. I hate mock drafts. I can't stand the talk about mock drafts. But there's
right, and now you're talking about it so early on through April.
Yeah, and there's nothing else that I can think of right now that we need to really be focused on. If we're top 7, let's say we went into the draft today, I think we can still get a good quarterback. I think the quarterback that we're going to go after is Shador Sanders. Not that I 100% agree with that, but I think that's who we're looking at getting. Um, who knows if we can get him? I don't know. I don't know if we can get him at number 7. I don't know. We'll see.
Is that your guy?
Well, kind of. I don't like these flashy players, especially quarterbacks, that get all the hype. I don't really like them because I think there's too much distraction and there's too much other stuff going on. And then, oh, damn, I got to go throw the ball actually, when the season actually starts. And so I don't really like that. But I think there are several quarterbacks in this draft class that we could get at number 7, and we could and we could we could be do well with.
Let's look, since you brought it up, but I know we don't want, like, we all sick and tired of draft classes, right? Even when it's like the off season, and it's so early that we're talking about this right now, but that's where we're heading, so we might as well look at it. Here are some predictions right here. Scott, you want to go over the list?
Quinn out of Texas. Hey, Carson Beck. Hey, he's a great quarterback. I'm just gonna see the quarterbacks here. Shador Sanders. I mean, all 3 of those could really be something. I'll be happy if we were to get any of those 3. What I won't be happy with if we do some other stupid shit by not getting a quarterback, and I'm gonna call that how I see it. Stupid shit by not getting a quarterback.
Well, you've been
Let
saying that since the last draft,
I
so you've
sure
you
the hell
you've
have.
been consistent with that.
I sure have. Yeah, I sure have. We need to get somebody who's a corner piece that we can build with. We have somebody on defense. Let's get somebody on offense, and let's build it from there. Look, we're not going anywhere with 8-9 records. We're not going anywhere with 9-8 records. We're not going any damn where. We need a quarterback. Period. It just is what it is. So as far as the other guys, I don't. I just don't even
Yeah,
want to
let's
address.
just look at the quarterbacks here. Do you have a favorite, or is it too early to tell?
I'm going to tell you right now that Shador Sanders is my favorite simply because I'm seeing the connection with Tom Brady. And if you guys watch the show last week, you will see that I think I've made a connection with all these things, and I think that's who we're going to get. So I've looked at him. He looks great. He's got a good team. Colorado's putting together a really good team out there. They're in bowl contention right now. Why not? Let's take them. I wouldn't be mad if we got the other top 2 either, though. But I'll take Shador Sanders right now. That's fine. I'll take him.
Let me ask you this, and I don't know if others had spoken about this or if anyone has a thought on this, and I just kind of thought of this. Does drafting him, do you think that brings in any sort of influence from Deion Sanders, his father? Does he kind of play a role in decision making and or coaching and or experience and then he kind of in that sort of way? And if so, do you think that's a benefit?
I put a little bit of thought into that question actually, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on our coaching staff in some type of way. If his son comes over, to be quite honest with you, I don't know what his contract is. I'm just talking off the top of my head. I don't know what all the details are, but I really wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah, and you know what? It wouldn't be it wouldn't be a bad thing, right? Again, you got these Hall of Fame,
Sure.
caliber players around the Raiders. What could be worse?
Everybody's always happy when we get this veteran in on a 1 or 2 year deal to bring along these rookies. Well, what's the difference? The same difference, isn't it? So, okay, let's go for it. Whatever. Okay, let's try it because what we've been doing ain't working. So let's try something. Let's try that. How about that?
Let's try it. Yeah, right. It can't get any worse.
Cannot.
Remember, everybody, light that torch, hit that like button if you haven't already. We appreciate you. We're going to go through some more of these comments here. We love all the comments. This show is for you. You are the stars of this show. We would love for you to join on camera with us or call in. But until then, we'll keep reading the comments. Willie Wayne says it had to do with Minshew. Needed a playoff. I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not either. I'm not sure what that means at all.
All right, well, we're going to get that to a second, but let's take a minute right here. Shout out Rambo Adventures for this very, very, very generous super chat. Much love to you out there in Thailand with a $100 super chat. Oh my goodness. Thank you so, so much. We appreciate you. Spiky, he says, Spicy, biggest draft issue is that Carolina, Tennessee Jets, is that New England?
New Orleans, probably.
New Orleans?
Maybe.
Okay, Cleveland, the New York Football Giants will be drafting a QB. If it top 5, we are not top 2 or 3. We will be SOL.
I don't know if we'll be SOL necessarily, but the rest of it is absolutely true. And hopefully we can manage to get into a higher position there. However that may come.
However that may come. And again, thank you so much, Rambo Adventures, all the way from Thailand, with the very, 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 very generous super chat. We appreciate you. You're always in here watching, and it's all I didn't even know what time it is right now. So thank you for being here. You know, I'm glad we can be your support system so you're not drinking at 3 a.m. because of the Raiders.
Definitely.
Much love to you, Rambo Adventures. Thank you, thank you, thank you. April says the Chucky curse is real as hell. Oh no, we still on the Chucky curse? All right, Raider Vision says to my point about the Dan Campbell situation, I disagree. Dan Campbell called plays. AP was a linebackers coach. All right, I think you're just saying that you think Dan Campbell's just a better head coach than AP is. So I'm fair enough.
And he may be. I'm not arguing that. It's just that, again, how do you work with what you have right now? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Raider Vision says, you're telling me the Raiders couldn't have traded up with the Jets number 8 to draft Bo Nix. I'm going to let you comment on this, Scotty, because you were very, very passionate and had a lot of opinions about the trading up situation, who the Raiders should have gotten. I don't recall your exact opinion on Bo Nix, but please respond to this.
Sure. I said during the draft over and over repeatedly that we need to bet the farm and get our quarterback. Now we don't have a farm to bet, and if we had just done what we needed to do, we may be in a different predicament right now. So I'm gonna stand on that one till the day I die. But here we are at the end of the day. Yes, I do believe that we could have traded up. We were talking last week with Omar, and you guys were going back and forth about we couldn't get the pick from Washington at number 2. I disagree with that completely. I think everything's for sale, and I think we should have sold it. Whatever we had, I think we should have sold it. I don't think anything's out of reach. But do I think that we could have traded up to a different spot in the draft? Absolutely, I do.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We definitely appreciate it either way, Rambo Adventures. Jeff Turner, 9830. What do you think?
They're in Shiloh. I mean, okay. I'd rather have what's his name? Travis Turner. Is his name Travis Turner? Travis? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'll take him over Shiloh, but yeah, okay. I'll take that.
At this point, we're gonna take anybody at this point. Right?
Man, I'm telling you.
We're going to take anybody at this point. So let's talk about it. You had said Scotty, you brought it up a little bit earlier in chat. Do join in on this. You had asked the question is kind of like, what is the percentage of blame or fault in this mess that we're in now? We had a whole entire show about it. Who's to blame? With the Devontae trade going on. That was the show Stu was on. You and I and Mother Moon, we all thought it was an organizational issue. Stu disagreed. We've got Rambo Adventures thinks it's an AP issue. A lot of people think it's a Getsy issue. Obviously, there's a quarterback situation. We've lost a lot of our good players. So yeah, what's the percentage of who to blame or what's at fault here? Because, and I think that instead of just putting the blame game around, is I think that's how to pinpoint how to try to solve this issue, right? Where do we start? Because this is clearly a rebuild.
Sure. Oh well, yeah, and I mean you can see it with all the players that I'm looking at players on the screen. I'm like, who is that? I've never even seen that guy before. I didn't even know he was.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. But I think the blame's got to go partly to Luke Getsy. I think the blame's got to go partly to AP. I think the blame's got to go partly to the offensive line. I think the blame's got to go partly to the quarterback. And that's difficult to say offensive line and quarterback and Luke Getsy because they're kind of one and the same, but there's a lot, and then there's player execution. It's pretty difficult when the play could have worked had you caught the ball, or play could have worked had you not fumbled the ball. We had a game where there was like 2 fumbles. I don't even remember what game. It was a few fumbles, that it was against Pittsburgh because what's his name punched the ball out twice. And I mean,
Yeah. TJ
can't,
Watt.
yeah, you can't put that on AP. You can't put that on Luke Getsy. You can't put that on the quarterback. So there's a lot of different things, and I think they all got to I think they all got to share the blame equally. To be honest with you, but there's so many things that are just not working that is just. And another thing is, and I don't know if you can blame this, but we do have a lot of injuries. Also, there's a lot of key players that have been out. So there's a little bit of that. I'm not saying that has a lot of weight, but there is some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of teams with a lot of everyone's banged up right now.
Sure. No, but I'm just encapsulating it all as a whole, as what part of the issues are. But I would say player injury is probably the least of all the things there. But the loss of Wilkins, that hurt us some. That hurt us some. Diablo's playing really good, but he wasn't playing in a whole bunch of games. Okay, that's hurt us some too. What's his name? Marcus Epps. I think he played well since last season, and I think that injuries hurt us a little bit. Again, those are minor compared to the rest of the things. Obviously, they're more minor, but I think everybody's got to share that blame a little bit equally. The play calling is just so predictable. It's just so bad. It's just so draining. And then that offensive line is just Swiss cheese. I think you lost audio there, Spicy.
I know. I was talking to a caller because we have a caller on the line, so I was picking up the phone while you were speaking. So we want to welcome to the phone via the phone call, April. The floor is yours. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for being always in here. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind, girl?
There's so many thoughts. So many, like yesterday's game. It was actually a good game up until the point where our quarterback couldn't function. Literally, our defense is constantly on the field. Constantly, it's like, okay, intercept, but we can't do anything with it. We're like on the 4-yard line. What are we doing? Everyone sits there and blames AP, but Scotty had noticed AP has a play call in his hand. So I said I did notice that, but I wasn't sure what it was. So now AP's calling the plays.
Yeah,
A little
it
confused.
appears.
What I did notice is that he had that play card in his hand that first quarter, and then after that, I didn't see it anymore.
Right. Well, because you know what? Because everybody's so quick to blame everybody. However, I do feel, and I stick with that, I think Getty has got to go ski. He has to. I can't. Like we're running we're running. It's embarrassing as a Raider, as a diehard Oakland Raider fan. It's embarrassing to watch these plays. It's one of the most pee-wee football. Like, put me in for the crying out loud. I'll just okay. I'm just saying, it's nuts. I don't like Getty. I don't at all. I think I don't know. AP looks kind of lost. To be honest, he looks overwhelmed. I think when he was thrown in as an interim coach, he had the components. He just, I don't understand it. And I know, Spice, you're not going to like this, but had we not gotten rid of Carr, who knows where we would be today?
I mean,
9 years with him.
I don't know. I disagree a little bit. I still don't think Carr's the answer. The only thing is, the Raiders should have had a backup plan. I mean, what was the rate?
Absolutely.
What was Carr's record versus the Chiefs? Wasn't it like 3-15 or something? I mean, I'm just saying it probably wouldn't have been better. The record should stand as Carr was not like doing much better.
I don't know. I don't know if I could say that.
But what was anybody's? What was anybody's?
And I think his team is also sitting at 2-5 or something like that right now. Also, so I don't know.
Beginning, or actually in even before preseason, and like we all said, AP was all for AOC, and we're like, yes, let's go. The kid, he was losing some weight, doing this, whatever. What would have been had AOC started against the Chargers? We might not be 2-6. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think. Obviously, we all know Minshew's not the answer.
And I don't know either, but I agree with you. I would have rather had them run with AOC and see how that turned out, at least at the beginning of the season, and then if it didn't work, then make the switch.
And now he's out for the season. So right. I'm just, it boggles my mind, literally. And what about this Carter Bradley everybody's talking about? Why are we not? With the whole Desmond Ritter thing, whether he knows the playbook or not. I mean, anything is better than Minshew at this point. Literally. I mean,
I'll agree with that.
He did get thrown into that play, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, cool. Finally, they make a good decision. They put somebody else in, and then JPJ had 2 false starts. But the first false start, then they pulled Ritter out. I'm like, well, what was that all about? It didn't make any sense.
It really didn't make any sense. And we talked about this on our show, I think, last week. If you're going to get someone else's practice QB and Carter Bradley, like, why not use our own? That was a little question. I think we all kind of questioned that as well.
So who knows what's going to happen this Sunday? I don't know. It's like, at this point, with like I posted 2-15 here, handled it.
Hopefully not. Well, April, we appreciate you calling. Any final thoughts before we let you go here?
Nope. It's RN.
4L. That's right. For life.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Night, guys.
We appreciate you. Good night. Bye. She made some great points. Thanks for calling in, April. We appreciate you. You can hear the passion in her voice. I love it. You can hear the passion in there. Everybody's frustrated. We just want to win, baby. Let's go ahead and look ahead, though. She did touch on it a little bit there, going against the Bengals. Now, we all remember back in 2021, the 2021-2022 season, the Raiders met Cincinnati in a wild card playoff game. The Raiders did fall short with, in my opinion, another bad play call at the end of that game. Needed a score. The Raiders play call was thrown short of the end zone, and the Raiders ultimately losing that game. That was the last time these two teams met up, and neither one of them are having a good season. The Bengals sit at 3-5. Obviously, we know where the Raiders are. Predictions are hard these days. I don't even know if I can make one because it's the Raiders.
We tend to you would think that we could muster up a win against Cincinnati, but we tend to play down to every team all the time. We're historically
That's been a Raiders thing for years, always playing to the opposing team's
absolutely.
abilities, always.
So that who knows? It's in Cincinnati. They're definitely coming in thinking, hey man, because they're thinking we can get a win out of this one. So what's it going to come down to? Turnovers again? I don't like our odds on that. What's up, Afakasi, man?
Afakasi, welcome to the show. Call in or appear with us if you're able.
Yeah. So I think it's going to come down to, I don't think it's one team's better than the other, to be honest with you. I think it's going to come down to a turnover issue. How many interceptions and how many fumbles we have. I don't know. What are we averaging per game? 16 or 17 turnovers per game, something like that.
I mean, at some point, something's got to give, and the Raiders have to pull out a victory, right? And this one is there. This one is right there. Like, take it.
You would think.
Rick, all the way over from Hawaii, says turnovers have been a huge problem.
Huge.
Again, every game, what we saw against Kansas City has just been a microcosm of the entire season. Again, we started off the show with saying it's a combination of poor execution, poor coaching, turnovers, penalties, and it's derailed the entire season, even making some of these winnable games unwinnable. Scotty, you said this yesterday. The Chiefs were looking to give it to us. The Rams were looking to lose as well. And the Raiders just weren't able to pull it out. And really, I mean, they just don't, honestly, I'll just be like blunt. They just don't have the talent to do it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It's hard to argue that point. It's hard to argue that point. I mean, we have some talent, but we're not putting it together.
We have some talent, mostly on defense.
We do have some. Yeah, absolutely. But we're not putting it together. And when that happens, at least in my opinion, you got to point towards coaching at that point. Players can play. We have some players that are making some plays. But again, if you're not putting that together in packages and in looks and plays and reading defenses and reading offenses, well then you got to point fingers at coaches at that point.
Yeah. So do you have a prediction for us?
I don't know. It's the Raiders win. How about that?
Okay. Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
So again, we always go back to this 2.5 or 3-point line in terms of the spread. The Bengals are 2.5 favorite, which means they're basically, it could go either way. They always tend to give the home team a 2.5 or a 3-point spread, but they're predicting that this could really go either way. The over-under for total points scored, they're usually pretty right on with this, is 47.5. So again, we're kind of in the same boat. For the Raiders to win, they're going to have to get over that hump and score more than 20 points. They're going to have to be the 27 of those 47 and not the 20 of those 47. Can the Raiders do it, though? That's a lot of points. We haven't seen the Raiders score those type of points all season. Can they do it? The bar is low. The bar is low.
The bar is pretty low there. I can't disagree. Just the way you phrased it was like, well, okay.
21 is hard. 21 is hard.
Man, 21 is hard. Golly.
Well, before we get out of here, one of our favorites is backstage, and I love how he comes on at the end. He always likes to close out the show, I think. We should just slot him in for this little spot moving forward. Our friend
Wow.
Rafa in the building. What's good?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Raf in the building. Boom. And let me tell you for this one between for Las Vegas Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that was like an incredible battle, but we just fell a lot of short. But in case that we just only had 2 wins and 6 losses, I mean, let's just get him back to the night like 1985 because we just only like 9 winning seasons. I mean, we have not been good back to back years like 2001 or 2002 seasons, and before that, that was like we're literally like between for like another teams, which is like another for a losing season. But absolutely, what I just saw, like looking it up for the defense and of course the coordination. I mean, the still got a lot of the things to do. I mean, it just became like the lowest yards per carry. It was became like really awful. I mean, the game plan and the blueprint wasn't that we're working it off for Lugetzi. I mean, we just have it a delay. I mean, they're hoping gonna be figured it out. How in the heck we're gonna figure it out for the defense? I mean, the issue is that the line doesn't seem like very cohesive. We don't know how this is gonna be really including to 2 tight ends. I mean, this is not going to the players. That's some coaching. Another thing you have a play caller who's attainably predictable, even for the worst defense. Know what we do about like running up for the middle. I mean, running up for the middle, passing it all. I mean, the passing game, they have the worst. And the running game, I mean, they're going to happen. I mean, between for everything, what they need to worry about it is more round plays up the gut.
You think they need more run plays up the middle?
Yeah, more run plays and more energetic. I mean, they're going to be happening at all because if they want to realize that about for that vision, I mean, if we can run the ball, we can win games. Pretty sure enough about for the last week, we just witnessed that out for red zone. If we can run the ball a lot of different times, I mean, we got everything. But if we can't run the ball, just like for the next few games, I mean, we got nothing. I mean, I don't believe that it should be like everything.
I think we need a running game, but I don't think
Yeah.
we have a running game, and I don't
Right.
think we
We
have
need
the
someone to
person
be able
create
to
a
run
running
the
game.
ball is the problem, right?
Yes. Yeah, but I don't think we should try running the ball for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
For what? For what are we running the ball for? Just pass
Yeah.
it.
And if we only had a good running back.
Yeah. Another trade them away with no answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Mother Moon says hi. She's hi, Rafa. She said hi. Raider Vision says, I hate to say it, but you
hi,
don't
hi,
want a
Mother Moon.
Raiders
Salute to
win.
you.
Have you seen Cam Ward? If they lose out, they will be in good shape. Adams is probably kicking himself knowing the Raiders about to have Sanders or Ward. Either one of you want to speak to this? It's an interesting comment.
I mean, I would rather be highest as possible in the draft. I'm saying that as opposed to saying I want to lose out, because I hate saying that I want to lose, and I don't want to lose, but I think
it's okay. They're gonna lose without having to try. You're fine.
I think we're in a position where what else can you do? I mean, even if you were to win, that what does that put us to for next year? I mean, if you were to suddenly turn this around and win half of the games out there, that just puts us in a worse position for the next year. So,
Rafa, do you have a favorite QB that you want? We put the mock draft up a little bit earlier, but I'll go ahead and put it again. Do any of these guys excite you?
I mean, about for like this very early, but I would love to see Cam Ward for the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, if they had so much they have so much pressure on it. I mean, that could really happen. But I was watching mobility, great speed. I mean, they just get at it all. I mean, for me, Ken Ward, he deserved like more than in the culture, like the highest level, because he just brought like a good intention. But when it comes to like the arm technique, and of course, he's building up, like everything could happen.
Yeah, and then I think
adjustments in the final.
Rick is saying I'm high on Cam Ward. I'll take any of them. I'll take any of them. I'll take any of them.
What do we think of this combo here?
I truly believe that is the Raiders' plan. I think they're trying to go for a quarterback tight end combination, like we've seen with the last two good teams that have dominated for several years now. I really think that's what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they did out there, and you said Scotty, you're big on this with Tom Brady running the team, right? Look what he had out there in New England. Obviously, it was Tom Brady. They ran that 2 tight end set with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, which was a success for them. I mean, they also had Edelman, and they had some other pieces, of course. But hey, what's good? Protect the shield, my boy Chris. Salute Rafa, Scotty, and Spice. Remember, tune in every Wednesday for he and I show, the Spicy Shield Talk at 6 o'clock right here on this channel and his as well. And subscribe to both channels if you haven't. And subscribe to Rafa's channel as well. He's got his handle right there below him. You can find him on YouTube and X.
Yeah, I think
we are going to get out of here pretty soon. Rafa, any last thoughts before we get out of here? Oh, did he freeze up on us?
I think so, maybe.
Maybe he froze. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who has commented, called in, and appeared with us. Thanks for being a supporter. Thanks for being a subscriber. Again, remember, light that torch, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Scotty, any last thoughts?
No, not really.
Fair enough.
Not really.
Fair enough. All right, Raider Nation, we go out one way and only one way.
Raiders.
Fact is, I grew up in Compton, California. I was born a Raider. I was born with the Raiders rolling in the Coliseum in LA. I was rolling with NWA, talking straight out of Compton, rocking Raider hats.
Clicked in my mind that if you just run through somebody's face, a lot of people ain't gonna be able to take that over and 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 over. Run through a motherfucker face.
I think this journey is the most special because there's not a lot of people that have the opportunity playing in high school and college and then pro and then being injured and starting coaching as a young coach.
We understand what it's about. We understand Raider Nation. We understand Raider love. Since 1966, you guys have been coming to this stadium and you've been rooting this team on to victory. You've seen this team win 3 Super Bowls. You've been here through the ups. You've been here through the downs. But you never waver.
The mental side of the game is taking me to the next level, and it's true confidence. It's feeding your brain elite of elite. And as I always talk about 1% and more is required, and I always say these things, but it's what I live. I see it everywhere I go because you have to constantly train your mind for greatness.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week on Monday Night Madness. And don't forget to tune in on Wednesday, 6 o'clock for the Spicy Shield Talk. Go